There is no animosity between Jason Momoa and former stepdaughter Zoe Kravitz, even after his recent split from her mother, Lisa Bonet. On January 12th, Momoa and Bonet announced that they had made the decision to divorce.
Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet calling it quits after 16 years together. All right, so here's the big question. Were there signs of trouble in paradise?
Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet's divorce announcement caught many people off guard in 2022. Because their relationship seemed genuine, however, like many couples who work in entertainment, they also had to deal with busy schedules, time apart, and public attention. After 16 years together, they decided to end their marriage.
After 4 years of marriage, were there clues to the split? Well, this was the last time Lisa and Jason were spotted out publicly. It was almost 2 years ago at a Tom Ford fashion show. Since then, Jason's hit premieres and events solo or with their 2 kids.
Now a lot of people are curious to know what went wrong in their marriage, and if one day their kids might tell the truth about what happened. Was it the stress of Hollywood life that made them quit? Or did they just grow out of love with each other? Join us as we look into the reason why Hollywood's favorite couple decided to go separate ways. A life shaped by dual heritage. Jason Momoa grew up with a mix of German, Irish, and native Hawaiian roots from his mom's side. His parents split when he was a baby, and he moved with his mom from Hawaii to Norwalk, Iowa. Living in a small Iowa town wasn't easy. He looked different from most kids there with his darker skin and cultural background that not many understood. Being the kid who didn't quite fit in taught him to be tough, but it also made him value feeling like he belonged. During the summers, Jason often went back to Hawaii to stay with his dad. He got to know the culture and land that felt right to him. These trips helped him stay connected to his roots, which came in handy later when dealing with Hollywood life and raising a family. Growing up between Iowa's small-town life and Hawaii's island culture made him someone who could adapt anywhere without losing the sense of who he was. Meeting Lisa Bonet changed how Jason saw life. He had a crush on her since he was 8, watching her on The Cosby Show. But when they met as adults, they clicked for real reasons.
What does home mean to me? It's my sanctuary.
They both did things their way, not caring what Hollywood wanted, and they both shared the same love for art and stayed true to themselves. Growing up feeling different made Jason tough, but also made him want to find people who understood him, which is what happened when he met Lisa Bonet. Who is Lisa Bonet, and why did he have such a crush on her? A life of strength and authenticity. Lisa Bonet was born in San Francisco in 1967. Her dad was African American and her mom was Jewish American, giving her a mixed background that shaped who she became. She grew up with her mom in Rada, California, learning to balance both sides of her culture. Living between 2 different worlds made her think deeply about life and staying true to herself. Lisa became famous at just 16, playing Denise Huxtable on The Cosby Show. She wasn't acting much. Her character was free-spirited and did her own thing, just like Lisa in real life. While other TV stars tried to fit in, she stood out by being herself. Lisa met Lenny Kravitz, and they clicked right away. Both came from mixed-race families and loved making art. They got married on her 20th birthday and had their daughter Zoe in 1988. Even after divorcing in 1993, they stayed friends and worked together as parents. When Jason came into Lisa's life years later, he and Lenny became good friends too. The Lovebirds met in 2005 at a jazz club in LA through some friends. Lisa showed up in her usual laid-back style, while Jason had his hair in dreads, partly because he loved how she wore hers on TV years before. From the moment he saw her, Jason couldn't look away. She had this natural way about her that drew him in, and that night kicked off their relationship. Even though they were at different points in life, she was already a TV star, and he was just starting. They connected over what was important: putting family first, making art, and living with meaning. What started as Jason being nervous around his childhood crush turned into something real.
Congratulations are in order. You and your partner, Lisa Bonet, you've just got married last month.
Soon their families blended, and people everywhere followed their story. Jason Momoa may have been Lisa Bonet's biggest fan, but was he ever truly her equal? A childhood crush turned real-life love. Instead of rushing into things like many Hollywood couples, they took their time getting to know each other. Over the next few months, they were together all the time. Jason was still trying to make it as an actor, and Lisa helped keep him grounded. She liked that he was fun and caring and loved nature and family as much as she did. While people thought they just had instant chemistry, they connected on a deeper and spiritual level. It also helped that Lisa knew what it was like being famous, the good and bad parts, so she was clear about what she wanted from their relationship. She told him she was done chasing fame. Being married to Lenny Kravitz and starring on The Cosby Show had taught her that red carpets and cameras didn't make life better. Jason felt the same way. In July 2007, they had their daughter, Lola Iolani. They named her after the hawks they saw flying above when she was born. Their son came along in December 2008 during a storm. They called him Nakua Wolf Manakawapo Namakaeha, picking names that meant something to their culture and family history. When they became parents, Lisa and Jason jumped right in. Jason discovered he loved being a dad, and Lisa enjoyed watching their family grow, including her daughter Zoe from her marriage with Lenny. Their home mixed all their backgrounds. They played music, made art, and taught their kids about their different cultures. Even with busy work schedules, they made family time a priority. Lenny was often there too, and everyone got along great. They focused on helping their kids understand where they came from and feel proud of their mixed heritage.
My lady likes to ride. Any excuse for more hugs, yeah.
Jason's +1 for the night? 16-year-old daughter, Lola. They were both decked out in motorcycle gear.
Was Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet's love story a quick romance? Did they take their time to build something real based on shared values? Or were they simply figuring things out along the way? Redefining family and breaking stereotypes. Their family didn't follow the usual rules. Jason and Lenny became close friends. Lenny even called Jason his brother. They showed how ex-partners and new partners could actually get along and support each other. Instead of drama, they chose to stick together and care for each other. It was a new way of being a family that worked for everyone. Then Game of Thrones changed everything. Playing Khal Drogo made him famous, but it came with problems. People saw his size, his long hair, and the scar above his eye which he had gotten from a bar fight in 2008, and jumped to conclusions. Some casting directors didn't even realize he spoke English. They thought he only knew the made-up Dothraki language from the show. The role that made him famous also boxed him in. This caused some friction between him and his wife because of the mental strain. Everyone wanted to cast him as the tough guy, missing that he could be funny and do other types of roles, and it bothered him a lot. However, Jason kept pushing forward and eventually showed everyone he could do much more than play the warrior. His big break came when director Zack Snyder picked him for Aquaman. Instead of casting the usual blonde superhero from the comics, Snyder wanted a Polynesian warrior who felt at home in the ocean. Now all the things that made casting directors overlook Jason, his look, his background, his connection to Hawaii, became exactly what made him perfect for the role. Game of Thrones brought a new kind of pressure that tested Jason and Lisa's relationship in ways they hadn't anticipated. How did this role change their family dynamics? Redefining Aquaman and embracing cultural identity. Aquaman hit it big in 2018, earning $1 billion. Jason played a different kind of superhero by bringing his Hawaiian culture to the role.
It's time to play a game of intense competition and wet and wild mystery. It's time for the game everyone's talking about. Cooks, cleaners, car salesmen, and the creatures of the sea. Everybody's talking about it. It's time for Aquaman and Buckets.
No superhero movie had done that before, and people loved it. But success meant long hours of filming and lots of time away doing interviews. As he got more famous, Jason struggled to balance his career and family. Something had to give. Jason had to shoot movies far away in Australia and Canada, missing out on months with his family. Even though his acting career was doing great, it hurt being away from Lisa and the kids so much. And because his parents split up when he was little, he hated missing time with his own kids. He wanted to be there for soccer games and school plays. His partner understood the craziness of Hollywood life, since she'd been an actor since she was a teen. But because she wanted to give their children a regular childhood in LA, the time apart started to affect her. The couple worked hard to make it work. And despite her not wanting the children near the fame and glamour, she brought their kids to see Jason when he filmed and even planned a surprise visit on his 38th birthday during Aquaman. To strengthen their bond, they worked on a movie called Road to Paloma together. But once Jason's career took off, spending time together got tougher. Even though they backed each other up and believed in the same things, keeping up with all the changes wasn't easy. Getting famous from Aquaman was what Jason wanted, but it came with a price. What was the price of his fame? The price of fame. Even with their strong bond, they couldn't fix simple issues in their marriage. They couldn't agree on where to live, how to raise the kids, or what they wanted for the future. While Jason was busy being a movie star all over the world, Lisa wanted a quiet life.
Here he comes, everyone. Here he comes. How you doing? Good to see you again. Stand right here for me because I need everyone to see this fantasy, this dreamland in front of me looking like Slumberland. But you know what you smell like?
Where she could focus on her art. These problems kept getting bigger until they couldn't pretend everything was okay anymore. Jason dropped a bombshell on Instagram on January 12th, 2022. He posted that he and Lisa were breaking up, but then he deleted it. Fans were blindsided. Jason and Lisa had seemed rock solid, like they had the secret to making it work. The split didn't change their priorities, though. They stayed devoted to their kids and to treating each other right. It showed that a marriage ending doesn't have to mean the end of a family, or the end of caring about each other. They refused to let things get ugly. Instead, they set an example of a good divorce. Because in the end, the relationship you shared doesn't disappear when you go your separate ways. What matters is putting your kids first, no matter what. When fans heard they were splitting up, it shocked everyone. They seemed like the couple who had everything figured out: successful careers, happy kids, and a drama-free family. They told the media they were changing in different ways, like everyone was during those times. In front of cameras, they kept things polite and talked about putting their kids first. Their close friends, though, knew they'd been having problems for a while. The divorce papers were signed in January 2024, ending their marriage officially. While a lot of people loved the bond between the couple, Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet's breakup proved that love isn't always enough to keep a relationship afloat. The end of a chapter. The strength of family. So apparently, not long after they announced their breakup, people started speculating and spreading rumors about what was going on. Jason was spotted at some of Zoe's events, and he also brought a Christmas tree over to Lisa's place, which made a lot of their fans think they might be getting back together. But Jason quickly put an end to those rumors, saying that even though they weren't a couple anymore, they would always be family. Some of the gossip websites have put it out there that the reason for the split was because Jason's career had taken off, and Lisa wasn't happy about his newfound fame. Who knows if that's true, though? It seems like the two of them have refused to pay much attention to all the chatter and just stayed focused on doing what was best for their children. Even if the marriage is over, they still have to put the kids first. Breakups are always tough, especially with kids involved. But it sounds like Jason and Lisa handled it about as well as anyone could, prioritizing their family, even as their relationship changed. People who knew Lisa understood she never cared about being famous. While everyone talked about her career being over, she was just living life the way she wanted, spending time with her kids and making art. But for Jason, signing those divorce papers hit hard. He'd put everything into their relationship, thinking they'd grow old together. Now he had to figure out how to balance his big career with finding happiness again. The life of a Hollywood A-lister wasn't as glamorous as it seemed when the trade-off was precious lost time with family. But at what point does chasing your dreams come at too high a cost? Love, separation, and moving forward. Even though Jason and Lisa may have ended their marriage, they clearly still cared about each other. They made a point to spend holidays as a family for their kids' sake. Jason would come over to the house often to help with chores or pick up the kids for fun outings. A lot of people had a hard time wrapping their heads around why two people who seemed to love each other so much would call it quits. But whatever the reasons were, Jason and Lisa kept it to themselves. They didn't feel the need to share all their private details with the rest of the world. Of course, fans were dying for Jason to spill the beans about what went wrong. For months after the breakup, everyone would watch his interviews closely, trying to read between the lines. But Jason kept quiet on the subject, focusing instead on his acting jobs and environmental work. He played the villain in Fast X and spent a lot of time on his ocean conservation projects. When Jason finally did open up about the failed marriage, it wasn't easy for him. He had to pause and collect himself before he could get the words out, and you could tell it was still painful to talk about. But he knew he couldn't avoid the topic forever. His fans had been so supportive of him and his family over the years, and they deserved some kind of explanation, even if he didn't share every last detail. Breaking up is hard enough, without the whole world watching and speculating. Jason did his best to navigate it all while still protecting his family's privacy. Getting divorced is hard enough without the whole world watching. In the end, the details are Jason and Lisa's business, however. Jason decided to open up, and what he said made everyone sad. Opening up is the hardest. Jason didn't sugarcoat how tough the breakup was. One could see the pain of losing what he thought would be forever still weighing on him. But he was doing his best to deal with it and appreciate the good times they had. He made it clear he still thinks the world of Lisa. Their bond was built on mutual care and respect. He said he'll always be grateful for everything they learned from each other about love and parenting. Even though the split cut deep, he cherished their time together. It was about more than just being husband and wife. Going through so much together changed him as a person. Those experiences stuck with him as he picked up the pieces and carried on. In the interview, Jason explained how being a dad and his Hawaiian background still guide his choices. He keeps the values he learned growing up, taking care of family, honoring traditions, and protecting nature, and uses them to be a good co-parent. He thanked Lisa for helping him grow into the person and father he is now. They both stay focused on giving their kids a strong base, working together with respect. For Jason, the breakup was hard, but it gave him time to think and heal. He wants to move ahead while keeping a good relationship with Lisa as they raise their kids together. Jason's reflections on their relationship showed that he was determined to move forward with grace, and was focused on building the right future for the children. Have the kids opened up. Their breakup has left people wondering how their kids were dealing with such a big change in the family. Lola Iolani and Nakoa Wolf are Jason and Lisa's children together. Lisa's daughter Zoe Kravitz is also part of the family. Based on what Jason and Lisa have said publicly, it seems like they're committed to co-parenting and trying to keep things as normal as possible for the kids. They've talked about wanting to maintain a stable environment at home. But of course, a split is never easy. Rumors have been going around that maybe the children aren't as okay with everything as they might seem. Some people have suggested that Jason being away from work a lot might be hard on them. And obviously, a divorce changes a family's dynamic quite a bit. At the end of the day, though, no one except Jason, Lisa, and the kids themselves know what's going on. The rest is guesswork. While it's natural to be curious, the family deserves privacy as they navigate this new chapter. The most important thing is that the children feel loved and supported, however the adults choose to structure things going forward. Still, that hasn't stopped fans and tabloids from speculating about how the kids are coping behind closed doors. Are they truly adjusting well? Or are they just putting on a brave face for the public? Moving on. These days, Jason is focusing on himself and making himself happy. He is a big heavy metal fan and uses metal songs to help create his characters. For the show C, he invited the band Arch Spire to be in the first episode. He even learned proper screaming techniques from their singer Ollie Peters for an important scene. In his free time, Jason likes to play music. He can play bass guitar, mandolin, ukulele, and regular guitar. In December 2024, it was announced that Jason Momoa would play the character Lobo in the DC movie Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. The movie is set to come out on June 26, 2026. Since splitting with Jason Momoa, Lisa Bonet has stayed out of the spotlight. She's kept quiet about what she's been up to, but her focus is on her personal life and kids. Details are slim on exactly how Lisa spends her days now, but anyone can see what matters most to her: being there for her children. Her career is taking off, and her personal life seems good too. Zoe's family has been there for her through it all. Both her biological parents and Jason have had her back 100%. When Zoe played Catwoman in The Batman, Jason went out of his way to show how proud he was. He posted on Instagram saying he couldn't wait to see it.
She crushed it. I'm just so proud of her, that's all. I'm excited to see her tonight and proud of her.
He called her Zozo and told her he loved her. Zoe has a tight bond with both her parents, blood-related or not, and they're all supporting each other as their family dynamic changes. At the end of the day, Zoe is thriving both at work and at home. She's got a strong foundation thanks to her loving family, no matter what shape it takes. As Jason and Lisa move forward on their separate paths, one thing remains constant: their unwavering support for their children. Inside Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet's co-parenting journey. Despite the divorce, the whole family has been spotted hanging out together at different events, which shows they're all dedicated to making co-parenting work. In January 2024, Jason brought Lola and Nakoa Wolf to the LA premiere of his documentary called Common Ground. It was a big deal because the siblings don't go to a lot of public stuff like that. But there they were, supporting their dad on his big night. And Jason seemed super happy to have them by his side. It just goes to show that even if a marriage ends, it doesn't have to mess up the bond between parents and their kids. Jason and Lisa are putting in the work to keep everyone close and make sure Lola and Nakoa Wolf feel loved and supported. Divorce is never easy, especially when children are involved. But the Momoa Bonet crew seems to be handling it as well as anyone could hope for. What do you think about the ups and downs of Lisa and Jason's marriage? Are they just like every other couple, or would they get back together in the end? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen.